It was Aristotle who said, anyone can become angry, that's easy, but to be angry with the right person at the right time, for the right reason, in the right way, to the right degree, that's not easy. He said so 2000 years ago. Emotional intelligence is a very essential skill required to be successful in one's life, be it personal life, professional life, or business life, be it any domain, moment to moment. Emotional awareness is the sine qua non to be successful in one's life, because emotion hijacks our thinking, it drives our behavior, it colors our decisions. It's foundational to everything that we do and anything that we are as an individual, as a personality. Emotions are biochemical reactions that our body produces from time to time in response to sensory stimuli. The biochemistry of our body reacts to the sensations we experience. What happens outside of us instantly produces chemicals inside our head, which flood the whole body instantly, which translate into feelings and emotions. As a result, our happiness, our sadness, our anger, our anguish, our anxiety, our aggression, our fear, our frustration are not something we have control over. Instead, factors outside of us have control over them. Factors outside of us activate circuits inside our head like a neuro Wi-Fi, wireless fidelity. There are emotional reactions which we cannot control, which we should not control either, such as the trigger of a sudden danger. For instance, we are in the middle of the road and we had the sound of a speeding truck behind. We will simply get the hell out of the road. We will not look behind, we will not try to rationalize, we will not try to make sure that it's real. We simply get the hell out of the road. We act first and think later, which is sometimes misleading but sometimes life-saving. But that's the way emotions are, and that's the way emotions should be at times for our own benefit. On the contrary, there are emotional reactions, regulating which would be to our own benefit, regulating which would be possible. And those are times when we should think first and act later. And that is what is called emotional intelligence, and that is what I am here to explain about. As a Santa Cruz Strangler has killed both of his parents and a grandparent too, besides having killed many others. But when tested, he scored 160 in IQ, which represents a certified genius. Now all these are men who are certainly head smart, but not heart smart, or thought smart, or feel smart. And all these harsh realities indicate a few facts quite clear. IQ has zero correlation with EQ, IQ has zero correlation with ethics, IQ has zero correlation with empathy. Fourthly, the most important of all, high IQ, when completely devoid of EQ, sometimes wreaks havoc in human lives, as we have seen in the foregoing examples. The most incongruous of all incongruities of human behavior is that when we are mad in the extreme, we are homicidal, but when sad in the extreme, we are suicidal. The latter is 360 degrees removed from the former. One is in total contradiction of the other. Have you ever wondered why? Are we really exercising our free will, or are we being blown by an internal wind? This phenomenon is discussed in detail in my full video, but part of the reason for this highly anomalous behavior typical to humans is typical to humans because of the homicide-suicide paradoxical nature of humans, is because our heart produces an electrical signal 40 to 60 times stronger than the signals of our head. The head is a thinking, the heart is a feeling. The feeling of our heart is several times stronger than the thinking of our head. That's the way we are biologically built, or neurologically wired, or evolutionarily designed. The heart rules the head. Have you not heard of thinkers, philosophers, and writers say that the heart has its own reason which the head cannot understand? It's therefore very important that we educate our heart in as much as we educate our head. Emotional intelligence is first and foremost educating one's heart, because it's too vital to maintain a balance between the head and the heart. Otherwise our head will be overruled by our heart, as it often happens in our day-to-day life, in everyone's day-to-day life. Look at Clinton of the Lewinsky, Diana of the Dodi, Nixon of the Watergate, Ramalinga Raju of Satyam Computers, if I can draw here an Indian analogy. These are all individuals of extraordinary intellect, but their feeling took precedence over their thinking, and they did the most stupid thing of their lives. Some of the most brilliant brains have done the most stupid things of their lives because they had excellent heads, but their heart was their Achilles heel. They were poor of impulse control. It's therefore very important that we explore the demons inside of us in as much as we explore the genius inside of us. Up until recently, science knew very little about the mind, and study of the mind was relegated to the fringes of science and was not included in the domain of science because of its subjectivity, because mind doesn't have an objective existence. But following many recent extraordinary scientific discoveries on brain imaging research and mind-boggling advances in the non-invasive technologies, study of the mind was recognized and was included in the domain of science.